So Liv Boeree with a full house. And look at this. It is all in. Huge decision. Liv Boeree.
Roca on the button. Pocket eights. Raises. It's Shemian's big blind. He's got king six of clubs.
Good enough for a poke.
He defends. Roca with the betting lead. And the advantage of position. And the advantage of flopping top set.
Plus a pair for Shemian. Roca's getting at least one bet out of him.
Action check to Roca. And he continues for 18,000. There's the call from Shemian.
Can he get 3 streets, though?
Highly likely. A 6 on the turn. That's trips for Shemian and a full house for Roca.
Good night, nurse.
And Shemian now leading out for 43,000.
What a dream for Roca.
He just calls.
All is in big, big trouble.
The river card is a 7, so a few straight draws got there.
Shemian's very likely to bet this again. I think this goes bet, raise, maybe fold sometimes.
Wow, Shemian checks.
What? He's not going for a check raise. That would be negative swag.
Roca bets 87,000. Shemian calls. Wow, he lost the minimum there.
Yeah, he loses the hand, but he wins the universe.
You can see me.
Hey, honey, do you remember when we said about when you should speak less? That was a really great example of when I was that kind of situation I was talking about.
When Bay comes to the table and is embarrassing as AF. Oh, I screwed that up. It's not as AF. It's just AF. I'll learn it one of these days.
You're so down with the kids, Bay. British Aerospace. Are we playing down to 27 today or all the way to it? What, to crowning a champion? Yeah, we're here for the next 73 hours as we crown our ultimate champion. No, we've only got 37 minutes on the day, Tajev.
2 more days of this stuff, guys.
Cool. We got to scrape this pretty thin.
And this time around, final table, cards up.
No, they're going to do cards down.
Oh, we're doing cards down
and
now.
because
okay.
we've been doing the whole thing cards up, and also, you know we normally have a delay. We're actually going to start broadcasting before the game does. So we're going to be 30 minutes before the game. But, no, hang on, let me just think about this.
Why don't you work it out?
And we're going to be answering tweets from 3 days ago. Come back to you on that. I need to just get the calculator out.
Oh boy, this could be real trouble.
So the ace for Nguyen, 7s for Bendik, who, I'll be honest, he has been hitting all kinds of crazy stuff.
More like, yeah, and set dick.
He's being cute here. Let's check it. I'm so disinterested. I'm so disinterested. The problem is, you know, at some point, value must be collected. And Nguyen is going to be... I'm surprised she's playing this so passively. Just doesn't... Oh, man alive. So now he's got 7s full of aces. She's got trip aces. 155,000. The thing is, she must be aware of how she's under-repped her hand. And now he's thinking, well, this is just perfect. This is just perfect. Oh, man, Jimmy. Jimmy is going to look so smug if she blows just all of her chips.
Oh, no.
I go for Ray, but just call.
Wow.
Good just call.
Nice. Wow, nice.
Oh, show the ace.
Yeah.
Wow. You have ace? Oh.
Pretty tough to get called by a worse hand when you raise there, so the just call makes
110?
sense.
Yeah.
No good play.
But I think a lot of players would have done so.
5-way to the flop. Full house for Negreanu. Trip 8 for Duhamel, who checks.
Well, this is pretty coolery.
Gruesome checks as well. Elke was the pre-flop aggressor. No c-bet. Action on Negreanu. He bets 10,000. Knew he's out. How does Duhamel respond with his trips?
Jonathan could call or raise.
He raises. It's a raise to 30,000. Gruesome and Elkie get out of the way. Action back on Negreanu.
You have red ones?
The reds are worth 25k each.
When Jonathan raises, I think he expects Daniel to be semi-bluffing a lot and probably doesn't want to give him a cheap card. Daniel's gamble has paid off, hoping someone out of his 5 opponents he just bet into is going to wake up with an 8.
Negreanu 3 bets. He makes it 65,000.
Daniel knows his rep is to not bet into 5 opponents with nothing, so Jonathan's not going to be raising him very often with nothing. So when Daniel 3 bets in this spot, he's going to have pocket 5s and ace-8 a lot. Jonathan knows this, but pretty much no one knows it hard enough to lay down an 8 on this flop.
You say that, but Duhamel finds a fold.
Wow, he knew it super hard.
Great laydown.
And Serge, with largest stack at the table, has just flopped true 7s.
7!
Always coming.
They are always coming, aren't they? Those 7s.
You just got to believe in the meme. You got to believe in the memes.
I think we only know that 7's coming because now we look for them. We didn't look for 7s before they were shouting 7, and now we always notice it. Does find the quads, always coming 7.
Wow.
Called it. Can you believe it? I even put 4 7s in the chat.
But this could be very dangerous for Cosman here because he does have the queen, which means he's got a full house, right? So we've got a full house with queens, the 3 7s and the queens, and then a quad 7. So, and we do see the lead from Cosman with the 12k. Serge is just going to call, trying to disguise the fact that they may have quads.
This could be.
It could be
a very, very big river.
Yeah. So.
Neither player fazed by the fact that flush is out there because they are both beating it.
Yep. So Cosman does opt to check this time. Serge, are they going to try and get some extra value with these quads?
This could be messy. To the sizable
and there's
bet.
a very quick call.
Quick call.
And seeing the bad news.
Shows the bad news. Not a happy bunny.
Into quads.
Raising from the cutoff with 9 deuce of diamonds.
Trying to go all thief here on the bubble.
7-5 of diamonds for Pasi Sormanen in the big blind.
And this would be kind of a loose defend.
He calls. And what a flop for Burglar. 9-9 deuce for a full house.
Flops him deed.
Sormanen checks. And folds before Berglund's had a chance to bet. Even Freitas has 5-6 of hearts.
It's a fine hand to play when you're short-handed and when you're the massive chip leader.
He's made it 120,000. Jack 3 for Juan Maceras. That goes in the muck. Andrew Lee's on the button. 7 deuce.
That's annoying.
Eugene Unite has just joined our feature table. And he has King Queen in the big blind.
Should be a pretty easy defend from the big blind.
He makes the call. And we go heads up to the flop. King 5-3.
Eugene's flop top pair. Freitas has also caught a piece, which I assume should be more than enough for him to continue here.
Eugene United's check to him. Freitas continues for 200,000.
Unite might be wondering if he can get away with a raise. The board's pretty dry, however, so he'd be repping a very strong hand.
He elects just to call. The turn card is another 5. Freitas continues to run golden.
Freitas runs better than Usain Bolt.
Goes check, check, and a 6 on the river, giving Freitas a full house.
Freitas boats up. I think he missed some value on the turn, but I doubt he'll be checking behind this time. It's going to be really tough for Eugene to not think he has the best hand.
He's going to put out a value bet, 275,000.
A little Hollywooding, maybe.
Okay, raise.
Raise coming.
Yeah. I'm sorry, call.
What?
Call.
You said raise.
You announced raise.
No, speak English.
You announced raise.
No speak English. No way he meant to just call with a full house. That was not a mistake.
Thomas Krems has been called to the table.
I believe we're looking at an angle shoot here. Freitas knows the rule is that his raise must stand.
Wow, you see that?
And I think he's trying to make it look like he didn't want to raise, so he'll get a call out of Eugene.
I think this is exactly the same situation that we had already in this tournament, when you did exactly the same move and you had the nuts. I just share this information with you, okay?
Wow, Freitas has got previous for this.
You understand? So I force you to raise now, and you have the option what you do. Twice, you need to put in another 275.
I think this is well handled by Thomas Kremser.
He's forcing Freitas to min raise, but he's told Eugene Unite that this is a move that Freitas makes when he's got a monster.
So
Because of what happened with
oh, you force him to min raise?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not my option whether or not he raises. It's my option what to do now, right? That's what you're saying.
exactly.
Okay, I understand.
Armed with that information, does Eugene Unite now fold top pair?
I know we're not supposed to actively root for players, but I sure hope he mucks. Make Freitas look like a chump.
He makes the call. Freitas shows the full house.
Same situation
Yeah.
again.
No, I know. I heard about this before the tournament started.
So ugly, I can tell you.
Ugly, move was so dirty, feel like I need a shower.
I heard about this guy a week ago. I heard about this guy a week ago. Okay.
I've never seen Thomas Kremser look so disgusted.
Speaking of disgusted, look at the other players at the table. Look at Juan Maceras.
David O'Connor has not only flopped the set, but also Sam Razavi has flopped top pair. Amazing spot for O'Connor here. Both of them check the flop. And O'Connor will bet. Is he thinking about a raise or?
Well, he played it cautiously on the flop, trying to be trappy. And he's just calling. Maybe he smells a rat.
He's not that good. Surely.
Well, it's very depends on what O'Connor does here.
165.
O'Connor's going to bet. If I'm Sam Razavi, I'm raising.
That's a big bet by O'Connor.
I don't care. Raise.
3/4 pot bet. Yeah, a lot of players would raise for value here because they missed a street of value on the flop.
Full house.
Sam Razavi just calls.
Yeah, he gets away with the minimum there.
There is Ike Haxton, who's worked his way back up from $250,000. He's opening the pot. Makes it 17,000. We see a queen of diamonds in his hand and a queen of hearts. So he's got pocket queens. Over to Richard Yong.
Well, Richard Yong has come in with a 3-bet to 17 after Isaac's opened to 7. We can see Richard has a king of hearts. Richard usually plays it relatively snug and has done so far, so I expect him to have a pretty legitimate hand here. Isaac with another monster. We know he's lost a huge pot with aces earlier on.
Well, he's only going to call here. No fourth bet or a 4-bet. The pot's almost 40,000. Can't wait to see what Richard Yong has alongside his king. Well, there's one in the board, but there's a set of queens for Ike Haxton. So Richard Yong, that second card will be very important. Oh, wow, look at this. Richard Yong has 2 of them, so there's 2 sets on the board, Grant.
Yeah, and it's slow played. It's 3-bet pre-flop. Isaac just calls, and the flop goes just a bet and a call. I expect some fireworks on the turn or river here. Richard leads out again.
They're moving fast. 80,000 in the middle. And now he bets. The pot's up to 114. A set of queen in Ike's hands. He calls. We go to the river. And it is another 5, so both players with full houses. Oh, this could be really, really big.
Well, that is the worst possible card for Isaac. He's now filled up.
50,000.
Should be scared of a straight now, obviously. That might have been slowing him down a little bit on the first 2 streets. Now he's got to think his hand is good.
Well, he's just worked his way back up to 112 in the red. He's announced all in, and Richard Yong. Wow, he says he'll lose to pocket aces, but he will not lose to pocket queens. And Ike Haxton, he's really disgusted with that.
6s for Chris McClung. Canadian raises to 400.
I like how he popped that chip in there. That was cool.
7-8 suited for Vanessa Selbst. Calling from the hijack. 9-8 of hearts.
More suited connectors for Thor.
Heath Herring calls from the cutoff. King 4 of hearts for Carlos Sanchez.
Sanchez is in position and getting some nasty pot odds.
He calls. Kevin Thurman folds the small blind, and Russell Jones folds the big blind. So 4 players will see the flop. Ten, 9, 6. What a flop! A straight flush draw for Vanessa Selbst and a set of 6s for Chris McClung.
This flop is so much action, it should star Jason Statham.
Let's not forget that Heath Herring has paired his 9, and he has a straight draw as well.
McClung's very likely to think he has the best hand with a set of 6s.
McClung has continued for 1150.
Vanessa has little to protect against. A raise could chase away some of her action.
She calls.
Herring also flopped pretty huge, like his arms.
He calls. Sanchez will get out of the way, so 3 players go to the turn. And there is the straight flush for Vanessa Selbst.
Vanessa's inner monologue. Please someone bet. Please someone bet.
McClung checks it.
He does not oblige. It's actually a pretty scary board for bottom set.
Vanessa checks as well. And Herring checks behind. 10 of clubs on the river. McClung improves to a full house.
Rivering a full house, usually a good thing. This time, not so much. This is gonna get ugly.
He bets 4,000. Vanessa only has 13,000 behind.
How much will the raise be?
I'm all in.
She moves all in. Herring folds. Decision on McClung.
It is bottom full house. Maybe he gets away.
I call.
No, he calls.
Yeah. Third of the house. Yeah.
I think this Frenchman is quite a bit of an unknown. You know, like the other players are looking and saying, look, we know he can be reckless. We know that he plays way too many hands, but he's gambling. Do we want to gamble with him as well? You know.
Well, we're going to see another hand. He's got ace-9 offsuit, so at this stage they're, well, very nearly matched, but anything could happen with this man in the pot. The flop is a 9-4-4 flop, so both players strike top pair, but, you know, we've seen these situations over the years, Joe. It doesn't always chop.
No, definitely not. And the poker gods have got a sick sense of humour. Like, this flop could induce the best hand, which is the equally best hand, to fold quite easily.
Frenchman checks over to the German.
Interesting that Dwaglen has ace-9 with the ace of diamonds. If a diamond peels off, he feels very comfortable knowing that he's got the ace of diamonds for a redraw to another diamond.
Well, he has called, and it has happened, just like you said. A turn of a 5 of diamonds now will give the Frenchman a little bit more confidence. He checks his cards. And checks across to the German. Will he fire again? As you can see, no diamond in his hand. The pot now growing to over 1.1 million. Looks like he's going to bet.
I like it. I think it's safe to continue that line. The Frenchman hasn't shown any sign of like aggression at this point, so take advantage of having top pair, top kicker.
525,000 now. The pot growing to a little over 1.6 million.
And a good call.
Yes, we go to the river, and the river is a 4 of spades. So if that had peeled a diamond, it would have been rather unlucky for the German. But as it stands, the players will chop the pot if we go to showdown. There is a check from the Frenchman.
Joel checks. Action on Lennart.
It's Uphoff at the moment is thinking, okay, do I have the best hand or do I not have the best hand? Most of the times I'm going to have the best hand. What if Dwaglen has been calling me with a pair of 10s? What if Dwaglen has actually flopped 9s full? Do I extract value or do I check it down? And he looks like he's going to try and extract value here.
2.2 million in the pot.
Maybe Dwaglin's got 10-9, you know?
725,000.
725,000 with his full house. The Frenchman now. Can't imagine he'll fold.
He's not going anywhere.
Both players with the same full house.
Well, it'd be really cool if Dwaglin could find a way to get it all in here.
Well,
That'd be
taking the
chop.
conservative approach and calling, and both players almost disappointed there.
Waste of time. Let's get back to it.
Oh,
He seems frustrated though, doesn't he? Look at him.
yeah. Thomas Miller not saying much. Liv Boeree defending in the big blind has outflopped him with a pair of sixes. He continues. She calls.
Interesting spot here for Liv. The check call is correct.
Pretty good turn card.
And the turn card is now, well, really, it doesn't really change much for Liv, because if she was behind, she's just behind again. Same thing, right?
In fact, it could cost her if he's holding an overpair, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So it really hasn't changed anything. Had a queen or a king or a jack or a 10, an ace comes off on the turn, then Liv needs to reevaluate. But at the moment, if she believes she's in front, then nothing's changed. If she believes she's behind.
Also, the first hand we played, I think.
Now, Miller here,
Did that on purpose.
if he's going to bet here, he's got to be prepared to bomb the river as well to make the story make sense. If he bets here and then checks back the river, he's given up, you know. He's kind of wasted chips.
Well, he's bet 25,000. Liv Boeree now looking a little bit more, I guess. You can see her eyes there.
So you bet 25 into 40. That's a very important number, Paul, right? If you had a big hand, would you bet like 60% of the pot?
The river, a 7 of diamonds, so Liv Boeree with a full house.
Liv's
And
smart enough to pick up on that, you know.
Now, if he fires, can't see Liv not calling, right?
Of course, I can see Liv folding. He's got to ship it.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. He has to bomb the
Can
river
he do
here.
it? Right. So
You know?
90,000 in the pot. His stack size is 73. Does he move the whole lot in? Does he value bet?
He's got
to ship it.
He's got to ship it.
It's the only way he'll
Yeah.
get Liv to fold.
Yep. And she still may call. But by betting the turn with his stack size, he put himself in an ugly spot.
Liv Boeree not actually moving and not even giving him any eye contact. It's almost like she's decided what she will do. And look at this. Well, it is all in. That's exactly what he's done.
Yep. At least he's followed through. Whether she calls or not now is out of his control. The play he made on the turn, I believe he was setting himself up for the all-in on the river, which is the only way he can win this pot.
Well, we don't know much about Thomas Miller before this hand. Poker kind of opens you up a little bit. We could call him courageous, that's for sure. That takes a lot of guts to do
like
that.
his play on the river. That's very good. That's, you know, one of the key ingredients to becoming a successful poker player is having heart and commitment. And once you've committed yourself to a play, to go with it, not back down. He's done that. And good on him for that. Whether he loses a hand or not is irrelevant now. The play was correct.
Liv Boeree looks like she didn't expect him to do
No.
that. Yeah.
I told you, that's the only way that he could have a chance to win the hand.
Huge decision. And look
There
at
you go.
that. So she folds. That is really good play from Thomas Miller.